Both Bitcoin and gold hit new all-time highs this year. But which one will perform better in 10 years? And which one is a better choice to use as money? The answer might surprise you. Let's mine deep. Look, we all know fiat money is the biggest scam since believing the flat earth theory. Apologies in advance to the 3 flat earthers watching this. But as more and more people wake up to that fact, with a massive amount of data to prove it, we keep struggling to figure out where to take money next. Do we go back to gold, or do we try something new like Bitcoin? Well, today we're going to break down both of them using 7 of the most important features of money. And we'll even throw in a comparison to fiat for those of you who still haven't started your journey of realizing what a scam it is. First, durability. Money has to be durable in both its physical form and its purchasing power in order to function effectively over the long run. Bitcoin has had a 99.99% uptime, which proves its durability in code. Gold is pretty hard to break without a tremendous amount of force, or a forge. And fiat can be expressed in both cash notes or digital records, which for the most part don't physically degrade. It's the purchasing power where fiat absolutely loses. Next, divisibility. Bitcoin is able to be transmitted in units as small as sats, which right now are worth less than 5% of 1 penny. Gold, however, needs a little bit of help. If you wanted to buy a pumpkin spice latte with gold, you'd need about this much. You can't see anything? Yeah, that's the problem. And sure, you could back fiat with gold again, but we all know how that story plays out. Next, fungibility. How compatible is your unit of money with other units of money around the world? Bitcoin is the same currency and network anywhere you go on Earth. Gold is just an element on the periodic table. But fiat has thousands of different currencies and payment networks, many of which are banned and unusable across different countries. Portability. You can fit $5 million worth of fiat in a handbag. You can fit that much Bitcoin on 12 words and a sticky note. And theoretically, there's no limit to the amount. But $5 million worth of gold? That'd be about the weight of another human. Good luck. Verifiability. Can you counterfeit gold and fiat? Yup, and it's been done thousands of times over the course of history, and still fools people to this day. Can you counterfeit Bitcoin? Technically, yes, but it's much easier to spot fake Bitcoin. If it's not on the blockchain, it never happened. Scarcity. Fiat has no limit to the amount that can be created. Gold is pretty limited to the amount that can be found on Earth, which is only about 1% additional per year. And Bitcoin will only ever have 21 million Bitcoin, with those rules enforced in consensus forever by node runners and miners around the world. And lastly, track record. Bitcoin has only existed for 16 years. Modern day fiat has only existed as money for 55 years. But we've been using gold as money for over 6,000 years. So why should you care? Of course, nobody has the time to think of all the features of money, unless you're a Bitcoin maxi, in which case you're probably on a podcast talking about this tomorrow. But just like how humanity continually progresses towards using the most dense energy source, the smartest computers, or the strongest construction materials, we will naturally gravitate towards the strongest money as well. The strength of money is only measured by these 7 features in the long run. But which one of these features we value the most fluctuates over time. We know where fiat is going in the next 10 or 20 years. But when it comes to picking between Bitcoin and gold, take a critical look at both and the trade-offs you're willing to make to be able to use both as the way you store the value of your time and exchange it.
Don't miss James Lavish Backstage.
So when do you see Bitcoin and gold reaching parity in market cap?
That's a good question. So, Bitcoin reaching, right now it's about $1 trillion, and gold is somewhere around, let's call it, 14 to 16 trillion. So that would mean that Bitcoin would have to be up like 14 to 15x from where it is today. We're talking about somewhere around $1 million. No, not really. It's about $700,000, which would have to be, because when you take out the jewelry and all that. But so when do I see that? I'd say in the next 5 years, 5 to 7 years.
One of the reasons older people prefer gold is because it can be simpler to give in a self-custodial way as an inheritance. Do you agree with this?
Well, it's simpler, but it's not quite as secure, right? Because gold can be taken from you with a wrench. It can be taken at the border. It can be confiscated by government officials who just come to your house, which has happened in the United States before. So it's actually much more secure to have Bitcoin where all you have is the keys. And the keys are really words or numbers in your head. And so it's really difficult to get those from somebody if you're not willing to give them up. You can walk right across the border with them, and Bitcoin's everywhere. It's not in a safe, it's not in a wallet, it's everywhere. So you can take it with you anywhere you go, and you can give it to anybody any way you want because it's not confiscatable, and you have total control over it.
You're a partner in the Bitcoin Opportunity Fund. What are the most interesting areas of Bitcoin venture capital that have come across your radar lately?
Oh, there's so many. The layer 2 stuff is starting to pick up now. And so that's exciting, and all the payment and the software on top of it. We love the solutions that are like the insurance products that are around it. We love the solutions that have to do with energy and energy mining, which is interesting. But I think in the future, there's going to be so many products that people aren't thinking about that go beyond just leveraging balance sheets and corporate investment that actually solve people's problems that they have now from legacy finance. And Bitcoin, that stable layer, is going to enable a much more stable layer on top of it as we get more people come into the ecosystem and we have that growth.
Do you believe in just hodling your Bitcoin or also spending it? Like, do you spend your own Bitcoin, or are you like one of those, ride die that will never sell, never spend their Bitcoin?
Well, if I go down to some place that has actually easy exchange for Bitcoin, a place like El Salvador, well, sure, I'll spend it, and then I'll just buy more. But you want to use it. You absolutely do want to use it. It's just, but your core holding, you want to hold on to for sure. But you should be using as commerce in places you can, and then you can just add back to it.
I have to ask, what got you to understand Bitcoin, or what was that it moment or it factor for you?
The it factor was when I was watching an interview that Pomp was doing with Jeff Booth, and they were talking about that fight between inflation and deflation. Like, there's natural deflationary forces from technology, and when they were speaking about that and why Bitcoin could solve that problem, that it finally made a click for me that, oh, okay, deflationary forces are natural, and it's the money that's broken, that this can fix that problem and bridge that gap. And so I finally understood, okay, I get it. I understand why Bitcoin is so important for the future.